You. Good evening, everybody. Could I get a one in the chat if you can hear me? Welcome to the first episode of Pulse Jitsu Crypto Farming with Abdoul. This is not for financial advice, entertainment only. We're just going to share some ideas. Thank you, Frank. We're going to go through some different strategies that a person could use for crypto farming. Probably be concentrating on the Pulsechain. Full disclosure, I have special interest in the Pulsechain. I'm the co-founder of the 2FUX protocol, which is a fork of Convex built on top of the FUX protocol, which is a fork of Balancer. We're going to be looking at that as one of the options, but that's not the only thing that we will look at in the course of the shows. We'll go over all the best opportunities on the Pulsechain. The goal is to do well. We're going to have sort of a format. I think the plan will be that we'll invest $1,000 a week, and you guys can follow along. Of course, I'm not recommending you do what I'm doing, but you can watch what I'm doing, and you can make your own decisions. We'll actually maintain a wallet, and I have a wallet, pulsejitsu.pls. It's posted in the profile of the YouTube channel, etc. So you can check that out. All the links are there. There's a DBank link there. You can follow that. And it'll be something we'll be able to look back on and see how we did. I'll also be making like a Google spreadsheet or Excel spreadsheet that we'll be able to look through together. And so we can see week to week whether we made profit. There's a couple of different elements to yield farming that we'll be getting into. This is definitely not first level stuff. If you're looking for how do I bridge onto the Pulsechain or what is yield farming, you'll probably want to look at Crypto Sloth, Crypto Coffee. We'll probably link those guys at some time. But like the general concepts that we're going to be looking at are things like minimal and permanent loss, right? So how can I do yield farming without ending up with way, way more of the less valuable token? Like APRs, like what kind of return am I getting? Am I getting 100% APR, 200% APR? And those are sort of the main things. But the other concepts, especially since, particularly with the Pulsechain, which I feel good starting the show today because the Pulsechain is really down right now. So the potential for gains in general, I feel, is really good. So the concept of your base units that you put into these yield farms increasing in value dramatically is definitely one of the goals that we'll be pursuing. So like, if you put in $100 into a yield farm and then it's worth $200 and you took in $200 in yield, well, that's like a 4x effectively, right? So, those type of gains is what I would like to see over, let's say, the next year of doing this show, of putting in $1,000 a week. That's sort of like my personal goals. Again, you guys, not financial advice, do your own research, make your own goals, make your own plans. But let's get started. So today being Wednesday where I'm at, is a great day on the Pulsechain to look at things that have changed in the yield farming community because it's the day that FUX updates its votes. So that's phux.io. On Wednesdays at around 5 p.m. Central Time or something like that, the votes flip over, and the only thing people are voting on is which yield farms get the most yield. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we will start fishing around for data that will help us decide what we want to do. So we're going to take a look at the FUX website first. Okay. This website tends to be a little slow because there's a lot of data that's pulling here, and the subgraphs on the Pulsechain can be a problem. But generally speaking, we can get an idea of what the pools have. We can sort by APRs. Now, we're going to be looking at 2FUX after this, but I want to look at FUX first so we can see how the voting works. 2FUX is going to show the higher APRs by default, basically a 3 to 5x multiplier on what you see here, though there's some variables that make that slightly more complicated. So we can see, okay, here's some of the top paying pools. Now, here's the trick, guys. When you sort on the first page of FUX, it's by default, it's sorted by the total value locked in these pools, right? So the pool value. So what it's showing you on the first page is roughly, let's say 30 pools sorted by value. And then when I go to sort by APR, it actually only sorts the 30 pools on that page. So I'm not actually seeing the top APR pools that are going to pay me the highest percentage. I'm seeing the top APR pools that were on the first page that was previously sorted by volume. So in order to correct that problem, you have to press this load more button on the bottom here. So, which is going to pull up more pools. It starts to get a little buggy if you press this, if you get more than like, I don't know, 80, 100 pools on the page, and there's a fair amount of pools here, but we should be able to get some progress. And it's being slow. Okay, so one trick, and this is the continuous problem with Fux, is that the screen tends to be slow in loading when you're getting a lot of data on there. So I have a bit of a cheat that I like to do, which is you go to this VE Fux button. This button just shows you everything that can be voted on. And the only things that can be voted on are the gauged, which is just shot talk for incentivized pools, right? Those are pretty much the only ones you want to focus on investing in, because those are the ones that are paying the bonus yield in the Fux token if you're on the Fux page. And if you're on 2Fux, you're getting paid in Fux as well as 2Fux and possibly additional bonus tokens. Okay, so here's all the pools. They're sorted by default by the number of votes per pool. So we can see at the top here, by a crazy huge margin of like 10%, is the 2 solid pool, which is a pool that contains 2Fux, Axis, Nope, Solid X, Fire, and a little bit of Pulse in it. Now, when we see that this is the highest, the pool that has the most votes, it doesn't mean it's paying the most yield, because the volume of the pool, the amount of money that's in it, partly determines what the percentage of yield that you'll get paid. Now, this is a really big pool. It's almost $500,000, so it's paying a little bit lower than a pool that had the same number of votes, but was half the volume in the pool. So just for example, if instead of, we'll just say for even numbers, we'll say this was $500,000. If it was paying 22% at $500,000, and then $250,000 left that pool, so then it was only $250,000 in the pool, then the APR would potentially double to pay up to 44%. Right. So when we look at which pool we want to invest in, especially since we're talking about $1,000 a week, if you're talking about $500,000 a week, you make different decisions. You might look at a pool like that very closely. And that pool still is in consideration because it has a great mix of tokens and has some bonus things that we're going to hit on later. But what I'm looking for right now is which pools have the most votes for the size of the pool, right? Now, one great indicator we have here on the screen is we have the green text. Green text means that this pool has more votes for the next period than it did before. Red text means the votes are going down. Now, since the votes just went through about 6 hours ago, that's not going to be super meaningful at the moment, but we'll look at the total percentage. So I have a little bit of knowledge here as to which pools are larger and smaller. So let's find some that are interesting and have things we like in them, because we also want to get a good deal, right? Okay, 9-inch strap-on. So 9-inch is another DEX on Pulsechain. So Fux is the fork of Balancer. 9-inch is like PulseX, a fork of Uniswap / PancakeSwap. And but they have a pool on here that is paying fairly well. So let's take a look. This will warm up. And while we're waiting for that, we're going to skip over to 2Fux. It does, however, help to refresh this page on occasion. Okay, so on 2Fux, we're going to launch the app. We're going to agree to this disclaimer. You guys should read the disclaimer, of course. Okay, and we're going to connect to our Ravi wallet. You guys can see I've set it up so it pops up on the screen so you can actually see what I'm doing here. I recommend anybody who's watching this use a hardware wallet for speed and efficiency at the moment. I am not. I may change that in the future. Okay, we got some crazy APRs here. Like this is basically the interest these things are paying you right now. And let's look through some of these relevant to what we're looking at Fox. So, okay, so here we go. We got this 9-inch pool that I was interested in, the 9-inch strap-on. So there's only $8,000 in the pool. That's not very much. These pools are meant to be, generally speaking, $100,000 or more. So when you see a pool like this, there's kind of an opportunity that most people probably don't understand because it's really easy to pump the APR on this pool. Now, that being said, if I go and drop another $8,000 in the pool, the APR is going to be cut in half. Now, on the Fux page, we can see that it's paying a range of 30% to 75%. Now, this is dependent on how many Fux tokens you have locked for a year and some other variables as far as the number of tokens you have to the volume that you're putting in. You don't have to really worry about this with 2Fux because the 2Fux protocol has those tokens locked for you. Like at 2Fux, we have like $1 million worth of Fux tokens that are always locked for a year. And when you use the 2Fux front end, it's like you had $1 million of Fux tokens that are giving you the boost. So we're not going to really worry about the lower number. We're mostly going to look at the higher number because that will be more relevant to what we're going to see on 2Fux. So let's go over here. Let's find that 9-inch pool. I'm just going to put in 9-inch. Here it is. Okay. Now, this is the interesting part. So right now, I see 7.17%. Well, that's not okay. Jump to 9.3, but still, that's not very exciting, and that's not as much as we saw in Fux over here. There's something that we need to understand, and that is that the 2Fux protocol averages the yield over a week and pays it out to the holders over that timeline, right? So when a pool is just gets new votes, it may start with on the first day of the votes, which is Wednesday in the evening, like today, it'll start with a lower percentage, but then over time, it'll move to be a higher percentage. So if we look here, we can see like, okay, it's currently at 9.3%, but it's moving up towards 430%. Okay, now that's a number I can get my head around. So I'm going to consider this for one of the first things that we're going to invest in because we're interested in the 430%. Now we might get the 9.3% for the next couple days, but it's going to move towards that 430%. Now, APRs are dynamic, like they're changing every single day, every single minute, every time somebody enters or leaves the pool. So it's going to be not that in the end, right? Like you're not going to get 430%. You're going to get 311% or whatever it happens to be for a couple of days. And then as more people enter the pool, especially if they've seen it on the show, then that number is going to go down. But this is where you can see the opportunity, and this is where you can get the edge. We looked on Fux. We found that this pool had a whole bunch of votes and that was only $8,000. And we looked on 2Fux. We can see this 9.3%, which is the number that it shows up front. But we can see that in the future, it's moving towards this much more interesting number. So we can get in early and we can reserve our position for when it's paying these higher APRs. So, and let's just go ahead and do that, guys. Let's throw a little bit of money in this pool. Now, this is the trick, okay? We're going to go to Pidius, okay? Most of the time we're going to use Pidius. We're going to look at Omnis too because they have limit orders and they have some other things, but Pidius has access to all these pools as well. So between Omnis and Pidius, we're going to probably be doing most of our buying and selling. The deal is going to be marginal between these and doing it directly on a DEX unless something has liquidity all over. Now, Pidius is a DEX aggregator, right, as well as is Omnis. So they're pulling from multiple DEXs. So, and in this case, most of the 9-inch tokens are probably on 9-inch, but they could be on 9mm, they could be on Fux, they could be all over. So I think this is worthwhile. Now, what I've done is in this wallet, there is $1,000 in USDC, all right? So we're going to use that for our starting point every day whenever we do this. We're going to go find the 9-inch token. Okay. We're going to buy $100 worth of 9-inch. Actually, you know what? Let's make it $200 because this is actually a pretty juicy pool. So I think this one is worthwhile. Now, is trading directly from USDC to 9-inch the best deal? Maybe not. It's certainly going to move into something else, but I like to start with the stable coins because it's easy for everybody to understand. It'll be easy for you to follow if you want to look at the wallet in the future on DBank. Once again, guys, hit the If you hit the information on the channel, you see links to all this stuff. Okay, so down at the bottom here, we can see that there's the route that everything travels through. So it's going here from USDC to DAI, from DAI to 9inch. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, and then it's hitting 2 or 3 different dexes to get you the best deal. So I'm fairly comfortable with that. So I'm going to go ahead and press the buy button here. Nice to see you guys in the chat there. We got Bright Lights. I was just watching your show, Bright Lights. Okay, so we're going to ignore these warnings on Rabby. You guys should probably read the warnings at least once, I think. But there are a lot of warnings. But always make sure you're on the right website. Okay. We're going to sign. And we're going to get our $200 worth of 9inch token. Bang, swap completed. Okay, so then instead of going to 2FUX and trying to enter the pool here, we're going to do it via the FUX exchange. There's a couple of reasons for that. First off, any LP tokens that you deposit on 2FUX end up in the FUX exchange. That's where it works. 2FUX is built on top of FUX. And so in the end, that is the result. But FUX is, and you can enter the pools through 2FUX, and it's going to, if you go to do that, it's going to give you a warning saying that, you could suffer slippage and so on and so forth, but it doesn't give you the exact slippage numbers. That might be something that's present in the future, but it's not present today. So I like to have the exact numbers of what I'm paying for slippage. So I'm going to go right here and do it on FUX. Now you can see here, okay, so I go to add liquidity. I press max, okay? Now down at the bottom here, it tells me my slippage. So you can see here, it says 0.5%, which is not terrible. Like and what it's doing in the background, if I'm just putting 9inch in, and I'm not putting the other side in, which is Pulse. And you can notice here that this pool is 80% 9inch and 20% Pulse. That's one of the benefits of the PHUX exchange, as well as Balancer, is you can have these pools that have different ratios. But 0.5% is not ideal because I think we can do better. So what we're going to do is we're going to press the proportionate suggestion button here so we can find out how much Pulse we need. And since Pulse is something we can very easily trade for everything else we need, we're not worried about getting a little bit extra. But like, okay, so it wants me to have 1,447,000 and change worth of Pulse. And then if I put that in, then I'm only paying 0.01% slippage or less. Okay, well, that's a good deal. So we're going to go back to Piteous over here. We're going to try to get that much Pulse. Now, this is one of the things I don't like as much about Piteous is I cannot put a number in on the bottom. I can only put a number in the top. So it leaves you kind of guessing on exactly what you need. Okay, so I need $1 million. That's like, okay, $49.60 is what it says here. Let's see if that works. $49.60. I started with 10,000 Pulse in this wallet approximately, and that's what we're going to maintain. Okay, well, that's pretty close. That's not bad, actually. 1447615. Let's compare. 0.75. Okay, close enough. Okay, so we're going to make that deal. Let's do the swap. Sign some stuff. All this stuff does work. Sometimes things are slow. Sometimes things are a little buggy. Don't press the buttons too fast. If you're not sure what's happening, pause, take a breath. One thing with the FUX exchange in particular is that I find that it's very helpful to refresh the screen often, right? So we can see here my transaction. It's not gone through yet. A little slow tonight. Let's make it go faster. Pulse is so cheap right now. I really should just increase the gas limits. If you guys have any questions in the chat, just go for it. I'm just working out the details here. I've not mastered the technology yet, but I will do my best. In regards to technology, I mean YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to refresh my screen on the Fux Exchange because that's the only way to get it to show me the correct amounts that are in my wallet. I'm going to change my screen a bit here. Let's go with this format. There we go. Okay, so now it shows, okay, I got lots of Pulse. I got lots of 9-inch. So I'm going to press max on my 9-inch because I want to use absolutely all of it. Since I have $201 in change worth, that's fine. And then I'm going to press the proportionate suggestion button on the Pulse. Bang, there it is. Nope. And see how it's not letting me press this preview button, which means I need to refresh the screen. So we're just going to go out here. We're going to press refresh. It says it's mad. It's just mad at my wallet here. There we go. Okay, let's try it again. Max, proportionate. Okay, I can press the preview button. I'm under 0.01% slippage. So this is ideal. I'm going to preview, approve a couple things. I decided to use the Rabby wallet for this. I just got into Rabby not that long ago, and it really is good for analysis. And of course, with DBank being built by the same guys, there's a lot of sort of social media stuff we can do with the Rabby wallet / DBank. In the future, like I don't think we'll ever go back to MetaMask. There's zero gain. In the future, I want to maybe look at doing something with the Internet Money Wallet because they have a lot of similar features to the Rabby wallet, and they're much more decentralized and much more private. Now, unfortunately, I think probably Rabby has the advantage right now just for like the social media sharing type stuff, which is very specific, which is only something I do with this wallet that I'm gonna publicize. Other wallets, I don't think people should share their wallets, generally speaking. These things are private. We shouldn't try to pry on each other's wallets unless it's something like this where we're learning together. That's a little bit different. So how are we doing? Still transacting. Go faster. All right. So Frank says, Rabby is the best. Same for Piteous. Is swapping more than a couple bucks for most tokens. However, they don't route FIDEX. Right. Okay. Yet, which has a decent and growing liquidity. So FIDEX, I believe, is the function island DEX. And for specific things, I think that's relevant, and you could look at that separately. So we probably won't hit too much on that today, Frank, but we will hit on it one day to be sure. Okay, so now we're going to prove 9-inch. And let's just jump the gun and speed that up. Oh, that one was fast. Okay. Now we're going to hopefully add the liquidity. So when you add liquidity to a pool, either on Fux or Pulsechain or 9-inch or 9mm, any DEX regularly. Hey, Brazology, thanks for joining us. You get an LP token in your wallet. Now, usually you can't see the LP token in your wallet, but it does have a specific contract code, just like any other token. They are fungible, meaning that they can be bought and sold if someone creates a liquidity pool for them. A good example for that would be the Prime Fux tokens on the Fux Exchange. Prime Fux is an LP token, and you can buy and sell them because they're set up in liquidity pools against Pulse and other things. Okay, so we have acquired our token. Now you can see that here it says stake to earn extra. Now, we do want to earn extra, but we don't want to stake, because if we press stake here, we're on the Fux exchange, it's going to stake it there. And then we're going to get the yield that it showed on that screen. I'm more interested in getting the yield that it showed on the 2Fux screen. So we're just going to hop over here to 2Fux. We're going to go to the portfolio page. Right now, I was just on the 9-inch page, so that's okay. So seeing my 9-inch token, am I hooked up to the right wallet? Just refresh. It's not seeing my token yet. That's okay. Let's go to 9-inch strap on. That's the one we were interested in. Look, okay, so it shows here amount to stake, and this shows all the tokens in my wallet. So these are the LP tokens. Now, if I look in my wallet, and this is one of the benefits here that with Rabbit, you can actually see this isn't the token. It's showing me what I have on the Fux exchange, which is these 2 items that are in this one liquidity pool. I could add the token address on here and see it as a separate token. If I wanted to move it to another wallet or something like that, that would be what you'd have to do. We're not going to worry about that today because we are where we want to be. So at 2fux.io or app.2fux.io, we can see that we have our 9-inch tokens in our wallet. We're going to press max. We're going to approve. And then we're going to sign. Now, like I said before, right now it says 9.63%, and it's at a higher number on the Fux exchange. Maybe if we stayed on the Fux exchange for a day or two, we would have an issue where we would get slightly more there. But over the course of a week, I believe that this is for sure going to pay better because it's moving towards 430% or so, which is, a huge difference from what we see on the Fux exchange. So we might as well do that. And basically, you're getting Fux tokens as well as 2Fux tokens. 2Fux tokens being probably the majority of the value of what you get. Here's the breakdown. So yeah, you're getting 72.9% in Fux. And I think on the Fux exchange, it said max 75%, right? That's just in Fux tokens. You're getting just about the same amount of Fux tokens as far as value, but then you're getting potentially a whole bunch of 2Fux tokens that are worth more than several times more to do it this way. So I think that's the win. So we're going to go ahead and stake there. And we'll be able to see our yield, this time next week. We're going to pull up the same farm. We're going to look at what we have and see what the deal is. Okay, so probably it's going to take a minute before that shows up on my claim page. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so it's already there. It's only been 1 second, so we haven't earned anything, but you can see here we're going to earn Fux and 2Fux tokens. And we go to the portfolio page. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we have 241 bucks, it says, in the 9-inch strap-on pool. Now these numbers can be a little off from time to time. It's pulling from different places, so just be assured that when you deposit it here, it's the same LP token that you made on the Fux exchange, and when you pull it out, you're pulling out the same LP token, and it can be broken down into its constituent parts. So let's look at something a little different, and then we're going to come back to the pools. So we have Prime 2Fux. Prime 2Fux is a single-sided staking token that is created by minting one Prime Fux into a Prime 2Fux. So Prime Fux is from the Fux exchange. It is basically their native staking token. You can stake it for up to a year to get maximum benefit, and it's locked, like you can't remove it when it's staked. And that also gives you voting power. Now on 2Fux, it's a little different. On our platform, the 2Fux token gives you the voting power, and the prime 2FUX token gives you the majority of the yield as far as just that ecosystem goes. Now, of course, there's all the other, there's like 60 pools you can stake in that give you crazy yield. So you have many options. But the big thing that I want to look at here is the concept of single-sided staking. So in this case, with Prime Fox, it is an LP token, right? But with Prime 2FUX, it's not. You can mint it using one Prime Fox, and it's always basically 1-to-1. You put in a Prime Fox and you get out a Prime 2FUX. But the Prime 2FUX represents basically a receipt, almost like a liquid staking token like Rocket Pool or something like that, where you have it permanently locked, the Prime Fox, in the protocol. It's always staked for a year, but your Prime 2FUX token is liquid. You can stake it for yield or you can unstake it at any time. And we have a couple different yield options. So first off, right on this page, we can see, okay, it's showing current APR 94%. Now, to my knowledge, that's the best deal going on the Pulsechain for single-sided staking with no lock, right? And you can collect your yield daily. It's not like you get your yield at the end of anything. It's not like doing a 15-year hex stake. It's like, yeah, you can stake, unstake, sell it whenever you want. And yeah, it's paying pretty good. So let's take a look at the details here. We have a couple different options for staking. So right now it's set on the Prime 2FUX compounder. What that means is when it gives you yield, we can look here. You can see what your yield is. Okay, so it's giving you yield in 2FUX tokens. You're getting a little bit, that's 4% of your yield, and you're getting Prime 2FUX, which is automatically restaked because it's a compounder, right? So, and that's giving you the 94%. Now, automatically restaked means it doesn't show up on your claim page as yield that you claim. It does show on the claim page, but it doesn't show as something that you can claim as yield because it's getting compounded. And that happens multiple times a day. So it's a pretty good deal as far as that goes. We can turn the compounder off by pressing these two arrows here, which gives us the classic mode. Now that's only paying slightly less right now. So we can look here. What am I getting? Okay, so here, if I don't have the compounder on, because this is basically, I'm getting from the staked Prime Fox and from the protocol fees from 2FUX is where all this yield's coming from. If I turn the compounder off, okay, I'm getting paid in Prime Fox, in Fox, as well as 2FUX tokens. Okay, and there's only a moderate difference here between 90 and 94. These tend to be a little bit off because it changes all the time, just like everything else. But yeah, they're pretty close right now. The compounder is great if you don't want to look at it very often. If you intend to just set it and forget it, I think that's a great option. But if you're planning on managing yourself, there are some dynamic options that you have where you can actually do a little bit better. I think what we're going to do here is do a little bit of both. So if we look at with the compounder off, we can see that we're going to get paid in 2FUX, FUX, and Prime Fox. Now, Prime Fox, as I mentioned before, is an LP token, and it's made out of 80% FUX and 20% Pulse. So if we pull up the liquidity pool, I'm going to pull up the liquidity pool on Gecko Terminal because the FUX liquidity pools don't show on Dex Screener. They probably will at some point. Gecko Terminal, please. There we go. Okay, and we're going to look at Prime 2FUX. Now, one of the main Prime 2FUX pools is paired with Prime Fox, which is great because these things are very closely tied together. It always costs one Prime Fox to mint a Prime 2FUX. So it's a great low and permanent loss pool, in my opinion. They tend to be about 20% apart. And there's actually an arbitrage point if the price becomes the same, which has happened multiple times and people pay the arbitrage. Okay, so right now, we're showing percentages, show me prices. Okay, so right now it looks like the price is down a little bit, which is great for our purposes today. Now that's in US dollars. We're going to switch to the price in Prime Fox, which is very relevant. I'll show you why. Okay, so we can see here, okay, somebody's been buying a little bit, that it's at one Prime 2FUX is worth 0.7788 Prime Fux. So there's a discount. There's like a 22% discount on Prime 2 Fux versus Prime Fux. And that means instead of going here and minting it with Prime Fux directly, where I get 1-to-1 ratio, what I should do if I want to get this is I should buy or make some Prime Fux and then use that to go ahead and buy Prime 2 Fux using Prime Fux. So we're going to save that for the end because I think we're going to use that for the remainder of whatever we're going to farm with today. And because I think this is a good, safe play for me, in my opinion. Once again, guys, this isn't financial advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing for myself here. And you're free to participate if you want to on your own. Do your own research, not financial advice. But let's find some more deals here. What else will work for us? So we're at the pools page of 2 Fux. Now we can see these insane APRs and some of the stuff. And like these are good deals. Some of the stuff's a little bit complicated, and we'll go into it in great detail another time. This native PHLP V2, this PHLP V2 here is from the FAME protocol, right? So that's a fork of GMX. It's a leverage protocol. This is a pseudo LP token that they use that has multiple tokens that people can take leverage against inside it. It's a really good token. It tends to go up in price. They have a V1 version and a V2 version. And just like on GMX, on Ethereum, etc., it tends to be tokens that are a great mix. And I think this is mostly the mix of what's in there. So we have Solana, like actual Solana bridged over to Pulsechain, ETH from Ethereum, and Wrap Bitcoin, like the real Wrap Bitcoin from Ethereum, all paired together with PHLP V2, which I'm pretty sure contains at least these 3 things as well, maybe some other things, and a little bit of Pulse to make it flow. So that's not bad. Now, again, we're going to look here. We see 413%, which we know is crazy. We're going to click on here, see where it's going. Okay, so at 413, it's tending towards 162. So that means the yield is going down towards this point. So it's not quite as juicy, but it's still not terrible, and it's a fantastic mix. So that's not bad. Okay, we just invested in the 9-inch pool, so we're already kind of in that ecosystem right now. Even though we didn't invest on the 9-inch DEX as far as the staking goes, which is probably something we're going to do in the future. They have some great BBC staking options, etc. But we will take a look there for sure. Now, okay, so what do I got here with the Bastard pool? Bastard pool, okay, 323, but it's tending down towards 39%. Why would it be going from 300% plus to around 40%? It lost votes. That's the only reason why, or the main reason why. It may have also gained volume, meaning more people came into the pool. But either way, we're going to skip that one for now because we feel like we're in there already. Okay, Kellogg's Friday Pack. Oh, I got a bunch of stuff in here. Hedron Hex from Pulsechain. Fiat, which is the fork of Aave, Fux tokens, which I believe are at their bottom in my opinion. So that could be a good one. And Pulsex, of course, that's not bad. A level at about 269%. Well, that's it's better than a kick in the pants. Okay, here's an interesting one. Okay, the Fuxing Magic Pool with Hocus Pocus. Okay, let's take a little closer look at this. Where's it going? It's going up. Okay, I like that. I like going from 255 to 316. Now, this is a niche ecosystem. The Hocus Pocus token is connected specifically to the Hocus Pocus project, which has like staking options, single-sided staking options, which again is rare. And also, they're the ones who run Pulse Market, which appears, in my opinion, to be the NFT exchange on the Pulse chain that's winning. I know the founders; they're super solid. They're not going anywhere. I think that's going to be where all the NFTs end up in the end. There's other players, and competition is good. Like we'd never want it to be just one, but these guys are doing very well. They're very consistent. So maybe we will take a closer look at this. Now, in order to analyze this, we're actually going to go to the Fux Exchange. We're going to do our same trick because it loads slow. Going to the Fux page. And we're going to find the Hocus Pocus pool. There it is. And we're going to refresh a couple times. What we want to do is we want to find out how big this pool is, right? Now, on 2 Fux, it shows how much value is locked on the 2FUX protocol, but it doesn't show the total amount in the pool. So that's what we want to find out, because when we enter that pool, the APR is going to go down. Now, of course, we're not dealing with a lot of money, so it's not a huge consideration, but it is a little bit of a consideration. Okay, so where are we at? There's only $5,800. Okay, this is quite the deal, actually. We can put in, a couple $100 and not do too badly here, because it won't change the APR by very much. And it's the reason it's paying really well is because it's way underfunded. Probably this should be a $40,000 or $50,000 pool, but so we might have to make a change in the future if it doesn't get more votes and the volume goes up to be a $80,000 or $100,000 pool, and the APR would go down a lot. But for this week, it looks like quite the deal. So, but part of that, as I mentioned before, is making sure that the token itself is actually a good deal. Now, this one is on my radar, so I kind of keep an eye on it. I think it is probably a good deal, but let's find out. And once again, not financial advice. These are just my ideas. Okay, so this is the actual token. Okay, and we're looking at Dex Screener, meaning we don't see the pools that are on the FUX exchange here. But it will give us idea. And there's thick enough liquidity. There's 12K here. Oh, yeah. Deals are on. Now, there's a lot of deals on the Pulsechain today. That is the truth. Oh, yeah, we got some great. Okay, let's look versus Pulse. Yeah, it's gone down a lot versus Pulse. And there's a bit of a gamble here because this is not a blue chip, right? But when you see a team that keeps showing up for work and you see them continuously building, and you can offset your potential impermanent loss. And in this case, the impermanent loss would be against the price of Pulse and the price of the FUX token. I think it's not a bad risk for me. You guys can make your own decisions. So let's go ahead and get us some HAWK token. Just occurred to me with the those guys should have cashed in on the HAWK Tua girl when that was a thing, but I think it's too late now. Okay, just gonna check the chat real quick. See if you guys are chatting. You're not. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let's throw in $200 into the HFC token, similar to what we did with the 9-inch token. We're hitting a bit of slippage there. That's fine. Where's it going? Going through FUX as well as Pulse XP2. Okay. Just going to double check. Where's my slippage at? Okay, on auto, we're fine. You guys want to make sure, set this at auto is fine. Sometimes with tax tokens, you have to set this higher. And that's fine if that's what we're into. I'm not a huge fan of tax tokens, but on occasion that if I've bought some, the thing that's got me in the past is I'll be like, okay, I got to buy the tax token. I got to set it at 12%. And I'll set it at 12%, and then I'll leave it at 12% and start going to buy other things, which opens me up to being attacked by bots and things like that. I think Piteous in particular has some bot protection elements. But you don't want to be set at 12% slippage unless that's relevant to what you're doing right now. So it just bugs me when I've done that a couple times. And you can potentially take a big hit if you don't remember to turn off your custom slippage for tax tokens, etc. Okay, so $200 worth of Hocus Pocus. We're going to drive the price up a bit. That's okay. Let's do it. And I've submitted the transaction. I haven't figured out yet how to set my gas prices on the Rabby wallet. I will do so next week. I think we could just set it at 2x what it's supposed to be, and it would still be so cheap. I've been doing transactions for 10 Pulse lately. It's 10 cents. Even the 10,000 Pulse we put in this wallet was 34 cents. We for sure will not use our whole 34 cents worth of Pulse to do the transactions today. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, we're on the Fuxing Magic pool here. Now check this out. I can press add liquidity. And look, it doesn't see my FUX tokens that I know are in my wallet because I just bought them. So with the FUX exchange, we're always going to refresh the page. Now with 2FUX, you wouldn't have to do that. But like I said before, it doesn't show you the slippage. I think it's really important that you guys respect the slippage on some illiquid tokens. That could be a major issue. Okay, so we got our Hawk tokens there. Okay, and we could just enter those and pay 62% slippage. We don't, or sorry, 0.62%. We don't have to pay 0.62, so we're not going to. We're going to find out what we need, and we're going to buy it. So we need $24.83 worth of FUX tokens. Let's do that. Okay. By the way, guys, we're only going to do one show a week like this, where I'm actually going through and spending the $1,000 and staking it in the farm. Other days, we might do other things, like we might interview guys who are running protocols that we're interested in investing in prior to the next Wednesday, where we'll be making those investments. And we'll be doing, just talking about new stuff in regards to farming on the Pulsechain, the different opportunities and things that we can get into. But for today, this is what we're doing. Okay, so that's warming up. So what's my next one? Okay, that's done. Now my next one needs Pulse. What's my suggestion? $25.18. Let's do that. Kind of like actually working straight from USDC here, because it does make it pretty easy. Even though usually for the past 2 years, basically I've thought and rated things completely in their value in Pulse and not in their value in USDC, partly to maintain my sanity. But yeah, this is actually pretty easy to understand. Okay, we're buying some more Pulse, about that amount, and we got a little extra, which should be fine. Let's do it. Yeah, Connor Trust says Piteous keeps looking for better rates, reducing slippage if you give it some time. That is true, sir. So I think with the things that we're looking at, it's going to be, very specific pools that it's pulling from. If we were getting into the exotics, then yeah, we might give it a little more time. Okay. Okay, so we're going to wait for that to go through. And then once again, we're going to go back to the FUX exchange, and we are going to refresh the screen so it can see the tokens that are in our wallets. I know sometimes this stuff seems a little buggy, but the bottom line is the back end of this stuff is perfect, right? Like there's no hacks, multi-audited code on multiple chains. Like it's good. So I don't mind it being a little bit buggy in that regards. Okay, so we're going to press max on our HOC tokens, max on our FUX tokens. And if I press proportionate suggestion, it might give me a slightly different number than what I have in my wallet, right? It says, oh, I need slightly more. I need 76186 instead of 75943. I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to press max because we're probably close enough, right? We can already see here that at the bottom, just from without adding the pulse that we require, we're already at 0.31% slippage. And then if we press proportionate on the pulse, which is the thing we probably have a little extra in our wallet, then bang, we're at 0.01% or less. So we're set. So we're going to do it. We're going to have to do our approvals. Of course, once we start, this is the first time this wallet has touched anything. Once it starts getting some approvals on record, it won't ask for as many approvals to do some tests in the future. It is wise to remove approvals from your wallet on occasion, depending what it is, but I'm not too worried about anything that we're touching today. But that is something that we will likely talk about in the future. Hola, Paul Sachs. Not sure who these senoritas are you're looking for. I think you've come to the wrong place, sir. Okay. So we are adding our liquidity in the Hocus Pocus, Foxy Magic Pool. We've been successful. Okay. So you can see here, I have an option to stake the token. I don't want to do that because I want to stake it on 2 Fox instead of on Fox. We also have an option to withdraw all the things that we just put in. We can even withdraw specific things. So we can take out the full amount in Fox tokens. We would pay some slippage if we did that, right? To not pay slippage when you withdraw, you take out the exact amounts that are in there as per what you put in, and it works out much better. But anyway, we're going to go over to 2 Fox. Check out our claim page. Oh, look, we've already made less than a cent on what we put in. So we got 1 full 2 Fox token and half a Fox token off of our 9-inch strap-on pool. That's cool. Check out our portfolio page. Okay, good. So it's registering right away here. We got $245, it says, worth of the Foxy Magic Hocus Pocus pool, and we can press stake. That's going to take us just to the pool page. We could have got to this via the pools page. There's multiple redundancies here, which is good. We're going to press max. We're going to approve it. Bang, bang. I like this. Yeah, I like this 256%, and it's going to go up. So that's cool. Now, of course, because I just entered that pool, it's going to go down slightly from what it just said. But there's definitely room here with this small amount. Okay, stake our tokens. Oh, Paul says I clicked on the pop-up that said "Sexy Senoritas near your location now." Yeah, that was part of my advertising, Paul. I apologize to lure you in with the senoritas. Maybe one day we'll interview some community senoritas. There's a couple smart gals who I wouldn't mind getting a female perspective on yield farming. They would probably have something to add. I suspect it's a less risky perspective, but I could be wrong, as we are so often with the ladies, right, boys? Okay, so we have now deposited our Hocus Pocus tokens. Not showing here yet. Some of these pages take a couple minutes to warm up sometimes when something first goes in. We'll come back to that. But anyway, let's take a look at our wallet. Let's hit the refresh button. Okay, well, it still says we have $1,000, which is what we started with, so that's good. Now, how much USDC do we have? We have $500 left. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to find one more thing that we're going to invest in today. And by we, I mean me. And by you, I mean do your own research, not financial advice. And let's do so on the pools page here. Now, there's some cool things here. Like I said, there's this like the PHLP V2 pools that have Solana. There's this pool here that just has bridge Solana, like 80% paired with Pulse. Now this is totally a different, like this one as well as this one. It's like the majority of these pools are 80 or almost 90% in this case, things that aren't from the Pulse chain. So it's a completely different risk profile to invest in these products, right? So that's kind of cool. I don't think we're going to get into them today, but I think it's something that we're going to look into in great detail. Maybe next week. We'll see where they're going. I do know that this one is tending towards the down. So it's 236% right now, but tending towards 45%. And, likely over the course of the next 7 days, it's going to move into range somewhere in between there or, even right down to this level. So I think we'll skip this one for now, but we're going to keep an eye on that pool as well as this one. Let's go to the next page. Okay, this is the PHLP, again, from the FAME protocol V1 that has Hex and I think it has Ethereum in it, maybe Wrap Bitcoin. It has some, more Pulse chain things. We will do a deep dive on the PHLP in particular. I think we'll skip that one for now, but I got my eye on that pool for sure. Oracle and Bridge Stables says it's paying 160%. I'm nervous that is not correct. So, because that doesn't sound like it should be. So we're going to skip that. I don't think it'll reflect on the Fox page. Sometimes those can be buggy. Ink Sync. Okay, this is a good one. Ink, Prime Fox, Pulsechain, and Fox, 143%. not bad, and it's moving up. Okay, so we have like a farm that contains the Ink token and contains Pulsex that pays more than the farms on Pulsex. Now we will do a look at the farms of Pulsex in the future, but maybe today is not the day. Okay, Pulse Bitcoin. This is a new pool. They had a tough year, which is kind of cool because I feel like there's room for improvement there. And this is their first farm. So 142 moving to 165. Okay, it's not bad. Not a lot of money in there. Real big index. Okay, it's a bunch of meme coins paired together. I don't think that's what we're looking for today. Tetra, Barista, OG GIF. Okay, this is the one I want to look at. Okay, so the two solid pool. It's paying 74%. I think it's tending down, though I'm not quite sure why. But there are some extras. Now, this is a new thing that just happened, and it's like the display is a little buggy, but the information is extremely relevant. Okay, so 2Fox has the option to add extra reward tokens. There's actually a button here where you can look at which reward tokens have been added to this pool, and you yourself could add extra reward tokens to the pool, but that's a terrible idea unless you're the founder of one of these tokens. So don't do that. And there would be many warnings if you started pressing the buttons, but it is decentralized and people would have that option. But the thing that I'm more interested in is if we invested in this pool, which reward tokens would we receive? So here's the APR. It's showing that we'll receive $2 and FUX, which is the standard for all the pools. Okay, the swap fees are just worked into the whole formula. You're going to end up with, more tokens on one end or the other because of the swap fees. But then there's these 3 extra reward tokens that have been added. The Soy Me token, the Camel token, the Nope token are all extra on top. I know this is happening right now, but the APRs aren't showing up correctly yet. That's going to be a tricky thing that we're going to have to work on because it's pulling from several spots and we don't want to mess up the overall APR. But I know those tokens are there. So I want to add a little bit into this pool. I think the $250 range should be good for today so that we can cash in on some of these extra tokens. Now, the bonus reward tokens, let's just take a quick look at them. Those bonus reward tokens are added by those communities. So I suspect, Randy Larski, the founder of Nope Token, likely added the Nope Token. There's huge liquidity on this thing. It's in a ton of pools. Looks like it's having a bad day today, but it's definitely has community behind it, and it definitely has a huge amount of liquidity, which is great because we get to choose to do what we want with it when we get it. So that's not bad. Then Soy Me, which has a bit of a sordid past. I believe it was created by the Fire Whale, the same fellow who created SolidX. And he sent some to your friend Somi, who I refer to as my friend Somi. And Soy Me rejected him. Somi rejected him and made a bit of a sell wall. And then the price went down. So there's not a ton of liquidity out there for this right now. But I think there could be a new future with it being added as a bonus token here. And you have a very depressed price, but for free, I guess I'll take it. That's not bad. Then we have the Camel token. Now, the Camel token was created solely as a bonus reward token for these pools. I don't think anybody should rush out and buy the Camel token. It's something that we're doing for fun. There's not a ton of liquidity out there, but there is some. I think there's about $3,000-ish overall. Where is it? Oh, here's a chart. So right now, Camel token's worth about 7 cents. Okay. We're going to have to do it for a week to get the numbers because the APRs aren't showing up correctly, but let's just get that set up. This is going to take a couple minutes, guys, because there's a bunch of things in this pool. Let's go over to the Fux Exchange. Use our cheat of going to the VFux page to find the pools faster, do solid pool. Now, there's a lot of liquidity for these tokens on this pool, so we might be able to cheat a little bit to just pay some slippage on here and get it done. Oh, come on. So the first token we're going to need is the 2Fox token because it is 33% of that pool. let's go to add liquidity. Oh, it's like that's a little off, but oh well. Just refresh that one more time. Okay. So 33%. So I'm just going to pull up the calculator. What is 33% of 250 bucks? $82.50. We are buying $82.50 worth of the 2 Fox token, which is pretty on sale right now, but not as much as a lot of other things. It's actually done pretty well. I really do think that reward tokens, 2 Fox BBC Inc. in particular, are going to do very well this cycle, especially ones like 2 Fox that have a ton of utility. I think realistically, 2 Fox has more utility than most of the other ones. Over 72% of the total votes on Fox are controlled by the lockers of the 2 Fox tokens. So that's a fairly select group who have a lot of power. And you're only voting on one thing, which is which pool pays the most yield. So that's what people are interested in. Okay, so we got our 2 Fox tokens. We're going to go back to the Fox Exchange, refresh our page yet again. There we go. Okay, press max. And we're going to get our proportionate representation on other stuff. Okay, let's do Axis first because I don't know. Let's do Fire first because I don't think there's a ton of liquidity here. Okay, 30. I'm just going to copy this. Look at that. Buy me some Fire token. I'll take this much, please. All right, that's slick. I think moves like that is what makes me the hacker that I am today. There we go. Give this a couple seconds. See if we find something better. Okay, that looks like good routing. Take my Fire tokens, please. Okay, while we're waiting for that, we can sneak over here. Let's get our Axis tokens. $37 and change with it. Axis. Okay. Bang. Okay, Axis. There you are. Now, I've heard that the Axis token may be coming out with additional utility soon. I'm not quite sure how much of that is public and how much is private, so I won't go into any details, but I think it's pretty cool. Once again, not financial advice. Okay. $37 worth Axis token. You guys could do this with bigger numbers in theory if you're doing it for yourself. I've been known to put more than $250 into one pool. But the cool thing about the Pulsechain is like we're paying like 5 cents per transaction, 10 cents per transaction tonight. So like you can have $50 in 100 liquidity pools if you want. And the limiting factor is not your transaction cost, which like on Ethereum, many other chains, even Polygon or something, you'd be paying much more. It's actually a pretty awesome diversification tool to be able to pay such low fees. Okay, so I'm going to copy that. All right, you didn't like that I copied the $sign. There we go. Okay, nope token that was. All these things. So, and another day we'll look at this as a diversification option. So we got Nope, Axis, Nope and Axis for sure. Maybe Fire token. They have other staking options on 9inch and possibly elsewhere. Nope has staking options on Spark Swap for sure as well, which are decent, but they don't pay the bonus Camel, Soyme, or Nope tokens, as well as 2 Fox and Fox tokens. So they just pay Spark tokens, I believe. But we will take a decent look at Spark Swap in the future as well. I believe that is one of the legitimate options, as well as 9inch, Function Island. Those are sort of my big ones that I'm looking at right now. Certainly when we get yield from some of these pools that we're going into, we will decide what to do with that yield. Now, sometimes that'll be selling the yield, which is totally acceptable. And sometimes it may be, well, everything exploded. That's okay. We're due for a refresh here. Sometimes it'll be selling the yield. Sometimes it will be staking the yield somewhere else, just depending what options are available, right? Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna max this 0.0032 axis. It's relatively valuable per piece. Okay, my nope transaction has not gone through yet. I didn't see my nope. We can find out how much solid X we need right there. So solid X. Still thinking about the nope, eh? What's up with that? Hurry up. We got places to be. Senoritas to cuddle, perhaps, in the case of Paul. Okay. Okay, so now we are on to our final component of this pool, which is solid X. Now, I believe it is public knowledge that solid X, oops, we're having some spelling issues today. Not popping up for me. That's okay. Not all tokens are pre-put into Pidius, though I'm confused why that was not working. I feel like it should be in Pidius. Solid X. Okay. Anyway, that's the right one. Yeah, solid X is on sale today. In my opinion, it's a good day to buy solid X. Honestly, everything on the Pulsechain is on sale today. Very few exceptions. There we go. Let's try that again. Popping up. Okay, fine. Contract code. There it is. I understand. And we're just going to do our due diligence and just double check to make sure that we didn't get some fake solid X. Yeah, is the right one. Okay, so we're going to buy our 2.6 solid X. While that's warming up, let's take a look and see how much pulse we need. Proportionate suggestion, $17 and change. Where's the pulse? Whatever you're doing here. So pulse 17. Oops, I did that wrong. USDC $17.57 or thereabouts. I think I'll look into some background music in the future for these solo shows. It's only so interesting I can make screens of numbers be. Okay, so we're on our pulse. Let's speed that up. It's almost bedtime. Let's go. Oh, it's done. Okay. So one scan back to Fox Exchange. Refresh our pools page. Add some liquidity. $2. Axis. Nope. Solid X. Fire. Those are all max, and then proportionate suggestion on pulse. Of course, you always need some pulse left in your wallet, which I will have. Okay. Less than 0.01% slippage. That's always what we're looking for. Man, so many approvals. Oh well. It's the price we pay for security. So after this, we're going to go through. We're going to take a little closer look at the Prime 2 Fox. And I'm thinking we're going to do both some classic Prime 2 Fox staking and some compounded Prime 2 Fox staking. there's advantages to both and disadvantages depending on what your plan is. But the concept of single-sided staking of a token that you can unstake at any time, that's making close to 100% APR. Really, I can't see the bad right now. And it's like, generally speaking, it's been on sale most of the time, not all the time, but like at 23% off from it, the peg, we'll call it, though it's a bit of a soft peg. There's no real floor, just a ceiling with Prime Fox. It's quite the deal. So yeah, because you're making that back definitively over the course of the year. And of course, when we're looking at yield farming, we're getting paid in these different tokens. So in the case of $2, the main tokens, aside from the bonus ones that we're trying to get with this pool of Fox and $2. So let's say you're making 100% APR, but the value of the tokens doubles throughout the course of the year. If you didn't sell your yield, if you reinvested it or compounded it in some other way where you weren't selling the Fox and $2 tokens that you received, and when you started the investment, you were at 100% APR, but then the value of the tokens doubled, then you have retroactive 200% APR if you didn't sell those tokens. Now, the same rule would apply for something like the ink farms, etc. So I think, there's game here to consider that, like, okay, some of these reward tokens may go up in value, and particularly if they have utility. So it's, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I may be biased, of course. Please do your own research. So, and for sure, guys, like, this isn't just going to be like, Fast Abdul's $2 show. Like, we're going to look at all the protocols on the Pulsechain that I feel like I can trust. Maybe we'll even look at some of the ones I feel like I don't trust. I think it's, a lot of things are going to bring us back to $2, honestly, just because it is one of the better yield farming protocols, but it's not going to be the best at absolutely everything on absolutely every occasion. There's going to be especially some of these niche ones that do something that $2 doesn't do. For example, Function Island has a yield farming option for the camel token. Nowhere else has a yield farming option for the camel token. So if we were looking at that today, and we don't have any camel token yet because we're going to get it from being in this farm, but when we do have it in our next, when we take yield, we'll look at that and decide if that's something we want to do. So there's, those kind of options are on the table. I'm going to refresh this because I feel like it's being slow. Let's see what happens. When you once you've done your approvals, if you refresh the page, it remembers the things that you approved. You don't have to start again. But yeah, definitely multiple yield farming options, and I think it's not a terrible concept to be yield farming in several different places and in, 3 or more pools per place. You're diversifying your risk profile, you're diversifying your yield in terms of what you're getting for yield, and you're diversifying your main holdings, which is really a lot of what yield farming is about, in that you're coming in with certain assets and you're not selling those assets. You have an option instead of selling. And so, you're putting those assets in different pockets and different protocols, isolated from each other in that respect. There's a safety margin there. Now, if this was my private wallets, I might do something where I used a different wallet for each protocol I was dealing with, or something like that, to isolate it further. I think you guys should consider that, partly for if you get hacked, which is typically something that you did wrong, but also just for safety. If something did go wrong with one of these protocols in particular, it would seem like it might be good to have that wallet isolated from other protocols that you dealt with. Though these imaginary horribles will, keep you up all night. This is the game that we're playing. Okay, so here we go. So we've now entered the 2 solid pool with all the solid index tokens, as well as $2 and a little bit of Pulse in it. We're there. We could press stake on the Fox exchange, but once again, we're not going to do that because we want to get more yield on $2. So it's saying 21% max over here. Here it's saying 74%. So, and again, said it's going down, but it's not taking into account the value of these extra tokens. I want to see what that value is. So we're going to deposit that here And this time next week, we should have a good idea what that's going to be. Let's do it. And we stake. When you stake on 2FUX as well as FUX, your tokens aren't locked in any way. You can withdraw the LP token and then back, not on 2FUX, but on the FUX exchange, you can unravel the LP token to get back your individual tokens that you put in at any time. There's absolutely no block. And there's multiple redundancies here for if there was a website error. You can multiple places that you can check on your tokens. So any errors that we have just been display errors. They haven't been a serious issue. Okay, so what's showing up here on our claim page? Bang, here we go. Okay, so I got all my pools showing up. Ooh. So far, the Fuxing Magic pool is winning, right? Because I've already made 2 cents, which is great. Now, that was the one that was paying the highest APR off the bat. If we remember, the 9-inch one was only paying 9% today, but it was moving towards like 300% and change, so that's not bad. Okay, so now we've just entered this seconds ago. We've already made some FUX and 2FUX tokens. Now, the Nope Camel and Soy Me tokens haven't started to flow, but I believe they will. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm very curious to see the total value here. We may have to do some individual calculations. If somebody could talk to the dev and get them to show the correct numbers here, that'd be great. Okay, so now we're going to finish up by looking at the Prime 2FUX. So we're going to take a look at Gecko Terminal here at the rate of Prime 2FUX to Prime FUX. So right now, this is way too small. Bang. So one Prime 2FUX is worth 0.7788 Prime FUX, meaning it's on sale about 22% off. So that means that we do not want to go here and mint our Prime 2FUX. Really, the only time you'd really want to do this is when the price is above. So if Prime 2FUX is worth more than Prime FUX, you can come here, you can take one Prime FUX, you can mint a Prime 2FUX, and then you can sell it onto the market to arbitrage the difference and then end up with more Prime 2FUX in the end if you kept repeating the circle until it was at even. The other thing that would be a consideration, now, of course, we're doing like $250 today, so we're probably not going to break the bank as far as slippage goes. But let's say you want to get 50 grand of Prime 2FUX. Well, there's like $2 million in the Prime FUX liquidity pool, and there's much less in the FUX liquidity rather, and there's much less for Prime 2FUX. So like you wouldn't be able to buy that much without incurring like a lot of slippage. So this is where you might want to come. You might want to buy a little bit up first, and then when it hit that even point, then you'd come and make the rest over here, and it'd be better than pumping the price 20-30% above the arbitrage point, which of course someone else might capitalize on. So consider that if you're moving big bags, that would be the play. But for today, we're going to take our remaining money. I'm going to show you guys a trick. This isn't 100%, but most of the time, you're better off. See if this will come up for me. You're better off making your own Prime FUX. Now, Prime FUX is an LP token, 80% FUX and 20% Pulse. So you can make it with those components. You can also buy it because there's liquidity for it. Okay, let's see what Pidius tells us. So let's say we want to buy some Prime FUX. There it is. You want to buy that. We're getting that much. Okay, so here, I'll tell you what, let's just see how we do. I don't want to do all the math right now, but we'll just screenshot that, and we're going to see if we do better. So we get this 1,432,000 if we just bought it with our remaining USDC right now. How much Pulse we got? Oh, not much. Okay. So we could do that, or we could mint it and see what happens and see if we get more. So you mint it by, you're just making an LP token. So we're going to go to the Fux exchange again. We're just going to cheat because the pools page is loading slow. We're going to go to the BE-Fux page. And here, BE-Fux is Prime Fux. It's the same thing. I'm sorry, there's a lot of fuxing going on here. Perhaps that was a mistake. Come on. So we're going to enter this LP pool just like we did with anything else, everything else, except for instead of trying to stake the Prime Fux token, which can't be done on 2Fux, it can only be done on Fux. And you always have to lock it up for a period of time, up to a year. Instead of doing that, we're going to make it, and then we're going to go to Piteous, and we're going to sell it into the Prime 2Fux token, because that's what the liquidity pool is. So that's where we're going to get the best deal. So, and of course, we could just go and buy Prime 2Fux. Let's take a look at that. We're going to screenshot this too. We're going to see if I'm a genius or an idiot. Please vote in the comments. Okay, so Prime Fux, we're going to have to grab, change my zoom. Okay, grab the contract code. There it is. Thank you. Oops, not that one. Okay, Prime 2Fux. Okay. So that is how much Prime 2Fux we'd get if we just bought it. Screenshot. Okay, now. So we want to buy, it's an 80-20 pool. So we're going to buy Fux tokens. And we have 248.7179 left times 0.8. Okay, that much. Says I'm paying slippage. Where's it taking these from? Okay, all over Hell's Half Acre. Yeah, mostly it's going into Fux eventually, but there's multiple mini trades here. Okay, let's go. Oh, I see OG Crypto in the chat. Hey, guys. It's good to have the Australian representation here. Okay, so we've swapped for some Fox. Okay, and you know what we're going to do? We're just going to, the remainder of our money here, we're going to swap into Pulse, because that's the other component we need to make our Prime 2Fux, and the remainder should be approximately what we require. And there we go. We'll have to be careful to make sure that we have enough left in our Pulse, that is, to actually do all these transactions. But really, like, I think we've probably used less than 1,000 Pulse, maybe 2,000 Pulse tonight. So cheap. Okay, so we're going to refresh so it knows our tokens are there. We see here that there's, yeah, almost $1.8 million in this pool. And this is a big liquidity pool. We're going to join it. So we got there, max on our Fux tokens, proportionate on our Pulse, which leaves us a little bit extra. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press max here to use all my remaining Pulse, because this is sort of our final thing for this evening. But I'm going to shave some off so that we don't run out of Pulse. Let's go to 59. Should be good. Okay, and again, we're at 0.01% slippage. So we are minting Prime Fox LP tokens. Okay. Okay, so this will be our first IQ test of the evening. We'll see if we have more Prime Fox than if we just bought it off the market for the same amount of money. Let's take a look. So we're going to go to Piteous. I'm going to go to Prime Fox. We have that much. Okay, and if I bought it, or took the time to do the math to see if I should have bought it. Right. Oh, no, we lost. Should have bought it. Must have been on sale. So again, there's a separate liquidity pool for Prime Fox because it is a fungible LP token, and we would have done slightly better. Now we're talking dollars here if we bought it at that time. I do know that, and we're only doing $250. If you were doing $5,000, pretty much the way we did it would have always won. So regardless, that's what we got now. So let's move forward. So we're going to take that, and we're going to buy the Prime 2 Fox. This will be our second IQ test for the evening. So since we lost on the first one, I hope this one works out. Oh, okay. Come on, Piteous, you can do it. Okay, so there we are. 1856623 is the volume that I'll get. Let's take a look at our screenshot. And none of you guys front run me while we're looking at the screenshots here. Oh yeah, we for sure win on that one. So we got like 1766 we would have got versus 18. Oh yeah, so there's like 100,000 just about extra Prime 2 Fox tokens. So overall we won. So not a 1000 IQ, but I think we're a solid 78, 79 IQ. It's enough to like drive a car. Should be fine. Okay. We're enabling our spending limit on our Prime Fox. So this play of making a trade between Prime Fox and Prime 2 Fox, like this is the play right now. There's that 23% discount. Like until that goes away, that's how you want to do it. Do it faster. Is there fees when adding liquidity? From Gore369. In the case of the Fox Exchange, no, there's no fees when adding liquidity. Okay, now what are we doing? Make the deal. Now we're going to see some fees to stake our Prime 2 Fox with the compounder on. I'll explain that in a minute here. That's not the same as adding liquidity. So we're going to end up with Prime 2 Fox tokens, which are not LP tokens. So we had LP tokens that were Prime Fox tokens that we made. Then we traded them for Prime 2 Fox tokens, which are like a liquid staking type token because there's no lock. Like with Prime Fox, we would have had no lock for a year, and we would have been making relatively crappy APRs at 13%. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to make much higher APRs over here. So basically, if any of the Fox aficionados are watching, Prime 2 Fox is the new Fox token. This is the way to make money with your Fox tokens. This is the staking option for Fox tokens. Convert it to this one way or another, either using the protocol or by making that trade we just did, and you're going to do much better. So we have two options here. All right. So you can see this 94% APR, or we can switch to the classic mode, which doesn't have the compounder. Right. So it's not auto compounding. You'd have to do it yourself. And it's saying it's 90% APR. These numbers fluctuate. Sometimes the compounder is quite a bit higher, so it just depends. but the compounder has a fee. So you can see here, compounder fee 1%. Now you'd have to look through the white paper for all the details, but basically this compounder fee is taken up front, but it's redistributed to the same people who are staking the token. So it's like to the entire community that's staking the token. So it's kind of like you get it back if you don't unstake and go away in a very short time frame. That, you know, so it's like it is a fee that comes back to the entire community of people who are staking the token. The reason that's there, and 2Fux is a fork of Aura Finance that works with Balancer on Ethereum. It's so that it prevents people from gaming the system of like staking and unstaking on an exact day and time to get bonus yield here and there. There's like, you know, it just takes out the loopholes entirely to make it fair for everybody. So if you stake your Prime 2Fox and use the compounder and you don't, you know, unstake it the next day, which is probably a terrible plan, then that fee may benefit you overall, especially if someone else does stake their Prime 2Fox tokens and then unstakes it the next day or the next week, you know, in a short time frame. It's like, you know, is not a win. But if it's a long time frame, like, you know, 3 months or more, which is, you know, we should definitely be looking at when we're considering yield farming, I think this is a win. Look at this. We can see right here, 72.8% of the VE Fox or Prime Fox is locked inside the 2Fox protocol, meaning this is the percentage of those we control, which is fantastic. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do half inside the compounder. The compounds twice a day. We don't have to look at it. That's great. So long term, this one's fantastic. We're going to do half with classic mode. The reason we're doing half with classic mode is because when we look over here, we see we get paid in the 2Fox tokens, which we can do other stuff with, and we get paid the 2Fox tokens with the compounder as well. But then we also get paid with Fox and Prime Fox, and we can use these to do our own compounding by making that trade we just did where we traded straight across for Prime 2Fox ourselves, and may even do a little bit better than the compounder can do. However, depending on how close the prices are and how, like right now, that arbitrage point is 23% away. If it's only like 5% away, this may not be worth our time on a weekly basis, right? If you're doing it every single day, like it probably look a little bit better. It just depends how much you want to press the buttons. So that's why we're going to look at the 50-50 option on this. Okay, so right now we're on the classic mode. We can just press, there's these percentages down here. We press max, 75, 50%. We're just pressing 50%. We're going to approve it. There we go. Okay. And we stick away. So if any of you guys watching, I'll get you to press the subscribe button if you want to see what happens next week. We'll also have some interviews with various people on the Pulsechain and elsewhere that can help us make decisions on yield farming. So of course, will not be financial advice, but it will be very interesting and entertaining. Okay, so we're done on the classic. Now we're switching to the compounder. We understand that we're paying a 1% fee. We're going to press the max because we just want to take everything that's left in the wallet there. Ignore, sign. It even shows you what the compounder fee is. So that's the number of Prime. It's taking 0.01% of the Prime 2Fox tokens go inside to the compounder to be redistributed to people who are staking Prime 2Fox in the compounder. There we go. We did it. Okay, so now we're not really giving it any time here, but let's do a refresh. See what details we got. Well, we've made 3 cents so far since we started talking. That's exciting. Mostly from this Hocus Pocus pool. That's also exciting. Okay. You know what? See how it shows this bridge stable pool? This is a UI error. We're not in that pool. That's something something that can be fixed, but it's it also doesn't affect us. Okay, so we have prime 2 fucks, compounder staking. Okay, good. So that's starting to register that it's has the compound staking there. Okay, Fuxing Magic Pool, 9 strap on, 2 solid pool. Then down at the bottom here, it shows the prime 2 fucks classic staking. So this is the one where we're getting paid the tokens and we could do the arbitrage or the conversion ourselves. And this is the one, the prime 2 fucks compounder staking, where it does it for us. So we have our claimable reward section, and you're just claiming the 2 fucks because everything else will get recompounded. That's the fucks, and the prime fucks will get recompounded into prime 2 fucks, and you don't have to do it. So what will happen is our total amount of prime 2 fucks will go up. And you know what we're going to do? Just sure I could look at the transactions, but for the moment, this will work. Okay, I'm going to the unstake page. I have the compounder on, pressing the max button. I can see the number of tokens that are there. Probably they have not compounded yet. Oh, where's the screenshot button? Okay, I've screenshotted that button. We can look at it again next week. We'll see a higher amount of tokens that are in there, right? And it should also show us the amount of compounded tokens that we've received over here, right? So look, we've already got some 2 fucks coming in there. Okay, that's great. So let's take a quick look at Rabby. See what it says. Oh no, we're down $130. How did that happen? Okay, I know how it happened. If we look at 2 fucks here, it says $870. Now we start with $1,000. We know that probably shouldn't be right, or we paid some terrible slippage. So the truth is, it's not right, and it is attached to the prime 2 fucks staking. I don't think all of it is showing. Right there, we can see here. We can see the prime 2 fucks is showing as $120. Staked prime 2 fucks. I suspect it's showing the classic staking and not the compounder staking, or vice versa. So it's all not showing up in the Rabby wallet, but we do have it there. We can tell if we go here, we can switch. We can press on stake. All our tokens are there. We can switch to the classic. All our tokens are there. Right, so there's not an issue. The issue is that Rabby is not showing it. So that's something that maybe somebody can reach out to them about and be like, hey, you guys fix this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the classic that doesn't show, because I have some other wallets where, yeah, I was short more than $120, and on inspection it was prime 2 fucks. It was staked in a classic manner that was not showing the results. So we will we'll work that out on our spreadsheets, and maybe we'll even get the Rabby guys to fix that for us. But overall, I think we did the job. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention tonight, guys, and we will be back next week on Wednesday with more of this, and maybe in between we'll be back with some more chatty type updates on what's going on with liquidity farming in the ecosystem and ways to make yield on the Pulsechain. So thank you very much, and have a good night.